Hey, welcome to video number 140. Wait for it. 148 of Walker This Way with Hazel Walker, the queen of all things.
BNI and networking.
I am Mark Simmons. I said that with a bit of an accent. Don't know why.
That's because you've been hearing my people talk.
I think so, yeah. I have been hearing your people, which is, wow, that's a good place to start because I overheard conversation, which was really cool. And so, as you know, BNI members know, at least for us in Indiana and BC, is we've gone through leadership team orientation because the new leadership team stepped in October 1st. So we've just
And
done
we
a lot of
trained
training.
together.
Yeah, we trained together, which was great. So around 800 members or so would have gone through the orientations
Yep.
in total. And there was a smaller group who no-showed, even though sometimes they registered or
Mhm.
didn't register. And now we can't let them in the rolls because they haven't taken the stuff they need to take.
Mhm.
Or they just no-showed on us, kind of ghosted us in it,
Mhm.
which is interesting. But what was cool about what you just got, and I overheard because I'm listening, was calling you and apologizing and communicating with you directly about it and still wanting, what can I do now? Like, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was trying to, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
right? I'm sorry, I missed it. What do I need to do to make it up? I really
right.
want to do this job. Yeah. So I had a couple of those phone calls where people called me just right after or shortly after going, I didn't even it was on one guy called and said it was on my calendar and I just got busy in a project and totally spaced it. And the nice thing about that is I don't feel ghosted by these guys. Like I have some respect that they've picked up the phone, call me, and take responsibility.
Right.
The people who no signed up and no showed and we still haven't heard anything from, I have no compassion. I have zero. It's like it was rude, right? A, it was rude. B, they've lost credibility. C, it shows a lack of respect for all the work that we've put in order to give them a great education and learn all the new stuff. And there's been a lot of new stuff since the last leadership team came in,
There has,
right?
absolutely.
There's a lot of new stuff we taught the vice presidents that they just hadn't seen before.
Mhm.
And that probably more than anything bothers me.
Yeah.
And I have very little space. Like this guy, it was easy to help him
Right.
because he really wants to do good job. And he said, I'll do a great job for you. I'll do everything and I'll show up at the makeup. And he took all full responsibility. And that's what I ask for from even my own children. Just take responsibility for your actions or inactions.
Right.
If it was an action that was a problem, take responsibility for it. If it was an inaction, same thing. Actions and inactions have consequence.
Right. Yeah.
Own it.
And I think I feel the important part about even this conversation is the communication part.
Yeah.
Like the importance of just picking up a phone and making a phone call. And it's not just leadership training, man, it's clients, it's whatever, anywhere, as opposed to just silence and ghosting.
Right. I dropped the ball. I'm taking responsibility.
Yeah,
Right. That's a I would say it's an easy conversation. It's not easy for everybody to do that.
no,
Some people just decide to ghost you.
right,
They decided it was unimportant anyway. At least, and we had a few people even online. I noticed their amount of time spent in the training was 17 minutes out of a 2.5 hour training.
right.
At least they dialed in. I mean, that's one step further. Now, they weren't there, like the guy that got stuck in
In the main room,
the main room and he never got into one of the breakouts because he was never really there.
right,
He was never really there. He just logged in and then disappeared.
yeah.
So, but at least they called in. I think they're being deceitful, and I would probably not send referrals to them.
Yeah. And that's another thing. So let's talk about that because we do talk about credibility a lot. We've done a lot of Walker This Ways on credibility, things that build credibility, things that hurt credibility. And the question you get to ask yourself, what's my impact on the chapter going to be? Because it
Yeah.
impacts every member,
Mm-hmm.
whether they show or don't show, because then they don't get access to the certain things, especially vice presidents. They can't get access to inputting the attendance, which affects palms, and then traffic lights. The members go, I should be in the green, but I'm sitting there in the yellow or the red right
Yeah.
now.
Or it also means that the ex-vice president has to step in and continue on,
Yeah.
right?
could
So
mean
if you've got the past vice president steps in and they're ready to step out, and
Yeah.
now you inconvenience them too,
Right.
right? So it does impact a lot of people, and for you to just ghost it is not okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
So, for the members, I've seen a commercial. I don't remember the company. It's probably still on. One call does it all. I think that's their tagline.
Yeah.
We won't have to name them if we know it, but it's true. Like a phone call can really solve a lot.
And it didn't take that call very long either.
No.
That was a
No.
very short conversation, and there was no ill will because I was happy for the call.
Yeah.
Right.
So for the members, then here's the thing: watch for we have one makeup and only one makeup that is coming up, but you'll be reached out to directly, which is going to be coming up in November. But outside of any of this, it's communicate, communicate, communicate. Don't ghost. It's not helping your credibility at all. And what some people may be asking, what's ghosting? That's when there's silence, crickets.
Yeah, just crickets.
What does the cricket sound like? I can't
And
do
sometimes not calling and following up, the problem which could have been solved was small. And now, because there's been no communication, maybe not in this, but some other scenarios, that problem is sitting there growing until it's a big problem, a problem
Yeah.
that could have been resolved really easily with a phone call, then becomes a big problem.
Right.
And that's just because you were too, I'm going to just use the word, you were too cowardly to make the call. You didn't want the conflict and you were avoiding it.
Right.
When the reality is, with you and I know there really is no conflict.
Right.
Because this is the expectation, this is the consequence. There's no conflict.
Mhm.
It's pretty easy.
It's easy. So key point, pick up the phone, not an email, phone, call, communicate with each other, follow up on your referrals with a phone call, show up for the one-to-ones, communicate by phone if you cannot. And for when it comes time to leadership orientations and trainings, show up. If you can't, phone. Let's have a discussion about it.
It feels like people have forgotten how to pick up the phone and make a phone call.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
everything.
so-
They want to do everything simple email, but just pick up the phone.
Yep. All right. That's our thing. That's our PSA message for today. You're welcome. Till next time, Hazel.
See you later.
Bye.